Hey guys! Welcome back to Let's Play Star Ocean 2. I will apologize in advance if my voice is a little off today. I had to watch over my grandmother while my parents were out of town, and she's sick, which means now I'm sick again. It's really unfortunate. I've got sick more times this year than any other year in like the last decade. It's ridiculous. Anyway, once we enter the mayor's house here, we will notice that have we met him before? We haven't met him before, have we? I was about to say, was he somebody familiar? But no, we haven't, have we? Thinking that we're further along than we are. Yeah, if you remember last time, we talked to some of the people around here after leaving Click and found that some bandits had kidnapped children. Those assholes! And I don't know why we just randomly sat down at the elders' table in the middle of some kind of meeting. But Celine's from this village, so I guess that has something to do with it. Alright. All started yesterday evening. All the children who should have been in the village have vanished without a trace. Where were all of you? Terrible message from the forest. And what did that message say? The Master of Heraldry. Okay. Training in the forest, and suddenly a bandit appeared in front of me. Bandit made the following announcement and disappeared. I don't know why saying you were on your guard meant anything, because he didn't try to attack you. He just said something, so okay, sure. And I've said that a lot lately. It's like, oh okay, sure. Because a lot of the things in this game, it's like, okay, that's your plan. Sure. I don't really know how else to respond a lot of the time. It's like some of the lines in this game are really weird. Anyway, the boss of the bandits has the children, and they want 500,000 full and the Book of Secret Seals or spells or whatever that was. Seals. There we go. One of the books of legendary heraldry arts, and we do not allow it to leave the village. Makes sense. If it never leaves the village, I'm not sure, they never really mention it in great detail, but is it something that they hide away and don't announce that they have? Based on what they said here, they tell people that they have it, but it's not allowed to leave the village. I'm not sure if it's something that people aren't allowed to look at or whatever, but I don't know. Kind of weird. They enter the forest, kidnap the kids, yeah. Can only mean the enemy is a formidable mage. Makes sense. That's, I guess, an important question. It just seems kind of weird. It's like, are the children safe? Well, no, they're kidnapped, but I guess you're asking if they're still alive. Hold up in the depths of the forest. No intention of moving until we meet or they have no intention of moving until we meet the demands. We know nothing further. Training of Masters of Heraldry. I guess that's kind of his title, not his name, or it's not a description. It's anyway, you get what I mean. My brain's a little bit foggy with this illness, so. We cannot interfere more than necessary, even though the enemies may be powerful, or may be mere bandits. They were powerful enough to break the enchanted forest, or whatever, the seals. So you can't risk doing anything. Really? Well, we have to do something. We can't just leave the kids to their fate with bandits. Still got to rescue them. Bit anxious. By chance, we met a master swordsman who passed through the village and asked him for his assistance. And Brandon's like, oh, I've been sitting next to you for about 5 minutes now. Don't I know you? It's kind of weird. Yeah, if you recall, Diaz was someone from Reyna's village, and she had mentioned him I believe in Cross. Rachel, the lady at the inn, had mentioned that he had been through a few weeks ago. So it took him 2 weeks to get here, and I guess it took us about 1 week in terms of gameplay to get here, so I guess that's about right, unless he was dawdling around somewhere trying to train or grind up his stats or something. There's no swordsman who does not know his name, except for, of course, Claude, who doesn't really know much of anything about anyone on this planet. Oh, that'll make Claude feel good. But then again, you know, he's really new to the whole sword game. He was just given a sword for the first time. Prior to that, he was using his phaser, or his phase blaster, or whatever the hell they call it in this game. Some kind of gun. It's a good warm-up for the lacquer. That's how I'm going to pronounce it. I guess technically it's liqueur, but I've always pronounced it lacquer because I'm lazy. So if that really bugs you, you can leave that in comments. I'll try and stop doing that, but I've already done it for the past week, so I don't know. We'll see how things go. Anyway, the Tournament of Arms is going to be held in liqueur, and we wanted to make sure that we can, or I guess he's using it as a warm-up in order to get to said tournament. Diaz, that is. So the Master of Heraldry is opposed to this. Person of unknown repute would rather we step into the forest ourselves. Yeah, you can vouch for it, but who vouches for you? Yeah, we don't know who you are. Well, from their perspective anyway. I'm going to be saying perspective a lot in this LP because it's really the main kind of feature of this game is things are different depending on perspective, whether that's on a different path, from a different point of view. That is kind of the overall big kind of key point of this game. It's a very important aspect to understanding the plot. And what would that be? Well, I guess Celine's not a kid, but I think she's in her low 20s or something like that. I can't remember the ages of most of the characters in this game, to be honest. They say right at the beginning when you choose your path that Claude is 19 and Rain is 17, but other than that, I'm kind of clueless. Then again, I'm like that in most games, because usually they put those in the in the books, you know, the little instruction manual that comes with your game, or at least used to come with your game. You don't get those anymore, but or at least I don't think you do. Half the time we don't even buy our games physically anymore. We'll buy them all on Steam. Speaking of which, I want Second Evolution on Steam. And First Evolution. More games on Steam, the better. Of course, Square has a really bad habit of porting games over poorly, but it'd be nice if we could actually get these games on something that's not a dead console, please. We've come in the middle of everything and screw up the operation. I'll have no more of this. I'm going back to the inn. So, in other words, I understand, you know, you're not liking this, but you're kind of being a dick about it, bud. And Celine does not like it. Her angry smoke or fuming whatever is lasting a lot longer than it usually does. Bet you it's still going on in the background. Yep, it is. That suspicious-looking swordsman. We'll easily crush them. Sorry if I'm going through dialogue a little too fast at times. I noticed when I was doing my my post commentary that I was trying to leave time as I was recording the video part, and then I didn't really have enough time to kind of go into any detail or even read the full the lines of dialogue at times. Anyway, this is the point where the two paths split again. If you're on Reina's path, you'll see what Reina does. She goes over and talks to Diaz. In Claude's case, he sits there with Celine and they make plans. Still wants to hire that man. Well, yeah, he's a world-famous swordsman. Show off a little. Okay, sure. Alright. sound like you have no enthusiasm. Yeah, basically, there's a couple of small scenes that change. I'm not going to splice them together in this case because the two paths really should be shown separately, because it's really, like, even though the scenes will run together, a lot of the time they're happening at the exact same time, and I just don't think that adding post-commentary or trying to cut around would make a lot of sense. So I'm going to do this episode as Claude's path, and then depending on how far we get, either the next episode will also be Claude's path, or it'll be Raina's path, depending on how things work out. It's all a matter of time. I don't plan out where the episodes are going to end ahead of time, so not usually anyway. Oh, sweet. So we got a full-fledged party of 4. The request of his cute girlfriend, he is certain to agree. Really top rank. Would be great help. Yes, he probably would be. What should we do, Claude? Said he could do it by himself, and if that's so, there's no need to go with him. So, in other words, you're being stubborn. Why would you say that? So you're got a little bit of an inferiority complex going on. It develops more over time, but that's pretty much what this is. Claude's just feeling inferior to Diaz at this point. Well, he is your childhood friend, and you did say that there was something terrible that happened to him back in Arlia, so I guess it can't be helped. Yes, this is the split path. Tomorrow is D-Day, so let's quickly put together our equipment and return to the Elder's house. Is there no need for me? Yeah. So he's feeling a bit of inferiority. I'm going to go over to the inn and see if potentially I can pickpocket from those two. I can't remember off the top of my head if I can or not, but let's see. They should be floating around up here. Ah, they are. Give me a second, see if there's anything useful we can get from these guys. Okay, I probably could have left that on screen. You actually can't steal from them. But if we talk to them, we realize that Diaz likes going alone because he doesn't want anyone to get in the way. And Raina's still pissed off with us and she wants to be left alone. So, okay. Good enough. If you're on Raina's path, you get a chance to pickpocket from Claude and from Celine, and you get some pretty good stuff for doing so. So I would recommend you do that. I'm not going to put the graphic up for what we can pickpocket in this town right now, because there's a more interesting, you know, there's a better time for it, basically. Anyway, let's rest up. We don't really need to buy anything. This is the part in the game prior to doing this sequence where you may want to remove some equipment from certain characters because you're only going to be using 2 of them going forward. Safety of children is first and foremost. I want you to proceed with that in mind. Alright then. Naturally. One thing you will want on Claude's path before going into here is come on, hurry up, is you're going to want to pick up some blueberries ahead of time. If you're on Raina's path, you're going to have a healer, so you'll be fine. But yeah, if you want to, and you probably do, just because you don't have a normal healer, you'll probably want some blueberries. I don't think you'll need more than, like, 5 or 6, but grab 10 if you want. They're cheap enough as is. I want you to cooperate with them and proceed. Alright, sure thing. There are some boots you need to cross the swamp. Now, this is, yeah, they're basically, I guess they're kind of like, oh, what is it? The item you get in Chrono Cross in the swamp. You need it in order to proceed. You don't really need it so much in Chrono Cross. Here, you definitely need it. They won't let you buy without it. But I'm going to show this dungeon on both paths, because basically you run into some enemies, you fight them, and then you have some dialogue. And on each path, the dialogue is different. So I think I'm just going to probably make this into a slightly longer episode, and we'll go through the forest as well today. And then in the next episode, we can do the dialogue on Reyna's Path, as well as the dialogue that goes through the forest. Cannot lose to Rena and Diaz. Okay, save point, spectacles, and treasure chest over here, question mark herb. And I am going to save, and you probably want to do this. I will go into why in a moment. Okay. Now let's head over to the right. This is a very straightforward dungeon. You're not going to get lost in here. But you are going to run into enemies on screen like this, as well as have random battles. You'll find out in a fight. Wait, what? This game is weird. Okay, so these bandits are unique. I think the only place you'll run into them is here. And Celine will be helpful with Energy Arrow, or if she decides to do Starlight. Now, it's not like they do much damage. You're going to attack the one that I was attacking, aren't you? Yes, you're wasting your MP then. Hey, stop that. But at least I can distract the enemy with Claude, and then she can, I guess, deal the brunt of damage. They give you a bunch of experience, and they have a chance of dropping Orichalcum. And I got 3 of them. Excellent. They also drop, I think, Sapphire, if I'm not mistaken. These are important to pick up. If you get 3, you're extremely lucky. And even though it's not the biggest deal in the world, it'll get you Orichalcum much earlier than you'll be able to get it otherwise. I don't think you need more than like 3 or 4 of them, but I'm going to try and make sure. There's a few of these battles throughout, and I want to make sure that I get them each time. So I'll be running back to the save point after each attempt at that. There we go. I guess I didn't really need to cut off the saving last time, but we'll just save over that spot. But yeah, the 2 different paths give you the different perspectives and what each of the 2 main characters are feeling at, during this sequence. Must be scum. Mainly it's the dialogue after the battles that is character driven. The dialogue before is just kind of generic. I guess that's supposed to be badass, but it doesn't really come across that way.
The enemy.
Looks like I must fight.
Alright, let's see if we can use some of our techs here. So that's the shooting star there that he's doing.
Air slash.
There's Air Slash, which we've already seen. Stop that. If you're up close... Whoa. And I'm dizzy. But yeah, if you're up close, he does like a physical attack almost. Well... yeah, I probably should just have you use Starlight. There we go. Wow, that was annoying.
Unexpectedly weak.
Wow! Last time I tried my previous test run, I did not get anywhere close to that lucky. That's probably all I'll need throughout the rest of the game. Rena and the others. And then Diaz. Wait, there's only Rena and Diaz. What are you talking about? Does it bother you? Now there's a good question. Of course not. So you're obviously lying. Why does it bother you is the real question. One sec. Okay, we're back. And of course battle. Yeah, I had to run back and save after that. We have some new enemies to take care of anyway. I took Energy Arrow off because she's been spamming it too much. Ow. So she's going to cast Starlight instead. It'll hit both enemies and distract them both so that I can get more hits in. And hopefully she doesn't just spam it and use all of her MP the whole time. But it'd be nice also if I could actually hit enemies in the air. As you can see, the AI and the hit box really sucks when you're trying to hit enemies in the air. Those are like the ones I showed off in that, I think it's called the mountain path where I was doing my grinding. Oh yeah, this is the point where you need the mud boots on. We can't go any further. Do you you've forgotten already, we borrowed mud boots from the Elder. Yeah, if you come in here prior to this point in the plot, then you'll only be able to get this far. I don't think it matters who equips them, so I'll just give them to you. There we go. And you want to go to the right here. Get a poison check from the Mischief. And we get the Amber Robe. Might as well give that to you for now, which is a much better piece of equipment there. More junk.
What?
What?
And we've got new enemies here.
Starlight.
She's going to cast Starlight. These guys we can meet up with on the world map. They're not that dangerous at this point.
Starlight.
It'd be nice if you didn't spam spells so often. It's one of the things about Celine I really don't like, is her AI loves to spam things. Yeah, she learns Reflection. I guess that's something I'll never use, but it's there. Let's see here. A spell that wraps one friend in a Thunder Shield. I think that protects against elemental damage, or like magic attacks or something. The one thing you can do if she's casting spells too often is go to Strategy and, let's see, I think set to conserve MP, and she won't cast spells quite as often. Go, and, oh, let's see, I want to go... I think I want to go right first here.
The enemy.
Ah, more new
I
enemies.
must fight.
Yeah, I don't mind if she gets off one spell per fight, but I'd rather her not get off, 3. Because Claude can usually handle most of the enemies by himself unless he gets boxed together. But yeah, that's much more effective. One thing you could do now that you've gotten more points for her is go skills, Celine, and up her danger sense. Now, what this does is it'll give her stamina, and stamina is the stat you need in order to boost the amount of HP and MP you get after battle. So it's really cheap now that we've mastered Perseverance. So let's get her all the way up to there. There we go. And we can probably do that for you as well. It's a very useful ability to have this early in the game. Since we'll get so much more MP and HP after battle, we won't need to heal quite as often. That's good for there. Yeah, I think I want to go right. No. I think they come up from behind you or something? That's weird. No such thing. We have... Wait a minute. I guess they're trying to hide them or hide the fact that they're from the village or something like that. I'm not sure. Seems kind of an odd line to have. Yeah, these guys attack really quickly, and it's really easy for them to stun you into place. And she's going to get off one spell. But in the last fight, she got 1 MP after battle. Now that I've upped her stamina, she got 6 MP after battle. Yeah, I got 1 Sapphire. Not a big deal. And we'll get some more dialogue. I have no idea. Probably the same thing we're doing. Slaughtering a bunch of minions. Taking them down. I do want to go this way first. Okay. Smelling salts. I don't even remember what those do. Revives a fallen friend. Okay. Maybe it's a revival item. Maybe it brings them out of some kind of status, like confusion. I don't know. Alright, we're on repeat battles at this point. There's a dummy doll. And some junk. And if we continue up, I think we have 1 or 2 more battles with... Oh, there's a new enemy with those minion dudes, or the bandits. there's a lot of enemies in this game that are palette swaps. We've already seen some of these enemies. These ones aren't as hard as the ones we would have fought in, wherever that was, where we did our grinding. But I think it's called Mountain Path anyway. Let's see if we can get on to the actual save point. It's hard to tell distance. Just keep saving over that one. Okay, and we should go up here, and then believe I want to go right. Okay, so that was a fight with those blue dudes. There's a mandrake. I'm still waiting for another item. One of those blue dudes and 3 of the... I missed an item somewhere along the line, I think. Oh, there's the Master of Heraldry. I'll have to go back and grab that one. Somehow I think I missed a treasure, but oh well. There's one more treasure to get in here, and it's the only one that's really of any value. After the problem is resolved. For now, I've come to the forest. Oh. Looks like Rena did her job. So you managed to annihilate the gang of bandits. Oh? I'm confused. So is Claude. They're all very much alive, even now. Uh-oh. The music stopped. The one who fell was your father. You son of a bitch. You couldn't have. Aren't too trusting of your friends. It's a simple matter to disguise myself as one of your friends to get the Book of Secret Seals. So he's the boss of the bandits. So it was an inside job. You trust the people of Mars. You just met them. Kind of weird. I will show you my true form. Despise those who would take advantage of people's feelings. So he reverts to Dakra. No, he does not. He turns into some same kind of demon dude that we saw with. I should have switched her on to Energy Arrow for this fight, but oh well. Yeah, not much to this fight. When you only have a couple of characters, you really need to be spamming more than anything else. Get up with a blueberry. Yeah, Energy Arrow would have been much appreciated in this fight. I should have switched that. But I was thinking that I still had the other treasure chest to get before this was going to happen. That's why I didn't.
Is it already finished?
And we get a talisman for that. I believe that item that we got from Celine in the private action in Arlia is also one of those. A talisman, once we can finally identify it. We must search for the children. Well, she's looking out for the kids. Oh, look who it is. What is this? The real form of the Master of Heraldry. Yep, he was the boss all along. Why are you here? Oh, awesome! Did you slay this one? Well, that's kind of what we said, but, or implied, I guess. Yep, you had Celine's help, somewhat. Not a lot, but most of it was me. So what Rena said was not necessarily a lie. What do you mean? The day I cross swords with you may not be far off. I'm looking forward to it. Oh, you think there might be a small challenge, do you? Perhaps you will not be an encumbrance after all. You're still a dick, buddy. You're still a dick. yeah, he just kind of abandoned us. I'll have to come back and get the sword off screen on this path, but I will show getting it on Raina's path instead, just for on screen. I'll come back and do this one on this path off screen, just to make things simpler. Anyway, that's pretty much all we need to do on this path. Next time we'll go into Raina's path, because this part of the scene really plays off very much the same on both paths, so we won't go into this scene at this point. Anyway, that's all for this one, and I'll see you guys next time.